For days after being stopped by police in his Brooklyn neighborhood, Jabril Torre says he felt powerless.
They basically jumped out of the car, 4 large officers, and were yelling, and they were like, "Get on the wall." And it just, to me, was very bizarre experience because I hadn't done anything. They said that if I didn't have ID or didn't produce it, that I would be going to jail. They basically said to me, the next time a cop tells you to do something, you better do it. And I just remember those words ringing in my ears.
Torre says police let him go after he showed them his ID, but the experience changed him.
I had all this pent-up frustration that was like, you know, sitting inside, and I felt the best way to do something would be to get involved in my community.
So Jabril started teaching Know Your Rights workshops like this one to young people. They asked us not to show their faces.
You have to take control of the situation by asking, am I being stopped? Am I being arrested?
A quick survey of this public school classroom shows the experience is nothing new.
Show of hands, who in this room has ever been stopped by police officers?
I was stopped and they told I was cutting and they searched my book bag. But I didn't know what to do at that time. It was my first time. I was kind of nervous. I was like, why are they doing this?
Jabril's workshop focuses on teaching teens how to stand up for their rights without making the situation worse.
By stating clearly, look, officer, you know, I understand you're asking questions. I have ID, but I don't consent to you searching. I don't consent to you questioning me. What you're doing is you're letting them know there's a limit.
Jabril says when he has asserted his rights like that, police have let him go on his way. And in part because of pressure from groups like Jabril's, the NYPD has revised some of its policies. Earlier this year, the NYPD ended its controversial practice known as stop and frisk, which allowed officers to stop and search people they suspected of committing a crime or were about to commit a crime. Police say it helped drive down the crime rate here in New York City, but civil rights groups say it amounted to racial profiling. But even though stops have dropped to fewer than 2,000 per week from a high of 16,000 per week in 2012, analysts say there is much to be done to build trust between police and communities of color, especially after high-profile incidents like officer-involved shootings. Maria Haberfeld teaches a voluntary course on policing diverse communities and stress management to more than 800 NYPD officers per year, and says mandatory training can prevent such incidents.
It's not only a need, that we have an obligation as a society to give these tools to our police officers.
But investing the time and money in training officers remains the biggest challenge. Kaylin Ford, Al Jazeera, New York.